Hey, future people, it's Phoenix! And I'm on the second part of Deus Ex today.
So now we're returning to Sarif HQ, and now we have a conversation with Farida where she asks you how you feel about your augmentation and everything. But it's one thing that when we reached Alpha with the critical path and everything playable, we kind of realized that there were not many interaction possibilities with some of the main characters, and therefore the personal touch, the emotional touch was kind of missing.
Well, and I think it was also like up until that point, we kind of approached the writing of the dialogues. We were kind of approaching this from a cutscene mentality. We had a lot of cutscenes that would convey the main story. We had dialogues that would react to things that the player had done. So we would have these conversations with Sarif, for instance, where he would say, you know, why did you kill them all? Why did you not? Etc. Etc. But we hadn't actually looked at it from the standpoint of allowing the player to decide what he wanted Adam to say, unless it was, you know, do you want this weapon or that weapon? So when we reached the alpha phase, we started to realize, wait a minute, we need to bring more of that in. So we ended up doing a major overhaul of a lot of the scenes, and it enabled us to get the scene like with Farida, where suddenly she becomes a much more important character, and she's also bringing in a lot of the questions that we wanted to raise about augmentations. Absolutely. And how do you feel, to pull that player experience. So we were able to kind of succeed in many levels in allowing the player to choose how he wanted to be Adam, and to get him to reflect more on his own experience with Adam. And I think this particular scene, it ended up resonating with a lot of different players for it as well.
There's another one right here.
So here's the VTOL, or the VTOL, Adam's chopper, or Farida's chopper. This is definitely one of the pieces of hardware that I really, really prefer in the game. I mean, one of my favorite ones. I think it's a perfect mix of really, really almost hardcore sci-fi design, yet with a lot of credibility to it, where you can easily imagine this is where things would go, you know, in 20 or 30 years from now. I just really love it. I've always wanted to make a little, you know, model of it, you know, kind of like a scratch build with buying,
it looks really good.
It looks really good. Just buying pieces of model kits from airplanes and stuff like that, and just like from the pieces actually build that. And yeah, it has a lot of character, and that's it. I really like it.
And speaking of character, since the VTOL is also very much associated with Farida, Farida Malik, Farida was actually a character who was not originally thought to be a very important character in the game. I think it took a long time before we actually gave her a name. In fact, at first we were calling her Farina, but then everyone here was saying, Mary, that means wheat in French.
Flour.
And it's flour. It's flour in French. It can't be that and everything. So, but she really wasn't intended to be this big character at all in the game. And then as we continued developing the game and writing the scripts and starting to add more player choice into dialogues, she ended up becoming... And it makes sense when you think about it, because she's one of your constant companions. So she ended up coming within the development process itself, developing into a very, very big character. And I think our original backstory for her was she was supposed to be of Muslim descent, and we originally wanted to have her use Arabic language and swear words and everything.
We tried it.
But then when we ended up casting the actress as 100% American.
Well, because here's the thing, what I remember is, and you had a strong affection for the character because it was based on a character in Battlestar Galactica. I think that, you were saying as a reference.
A little bit.
It was
like
Starbucks.
As a reference.
Yeah, as a reference, yeah.
So we had that, but then she's got to be Arabic. So we had found the actress, and we loved what she brought, and she had that sort of tough, kind of tomboyish sort of way about her, and we really loved everything about it. But every time we would have dialogue where she'd have to swear in Arabic to kind of give her that, you know, where she comes from, it just always sounded really forced. It just never worked. Like she would nail the pronunciation, but it's just, you know, it's not natural.
We pretty much figured the first time that she did it, that was like, okay, we're dropping all that right now, and we're just going with the American.
Yeah, Mary quickly adapted it. We kept the character. We kept her origins. We just removed the swearing from the Arabic language and kept her North American, and it worked well.
Yeah.
Also, another thing, the thing on her face above her lip, like actually in the game it looks like a beauty mark, but it's supposed to be a monroe piercing, and it just didn't really come out all that well in the game. So everybody, like, there's a lot of fan art about Farida, and they put a beauty mark, but it's supposed to be a little piercing.
Now you know the truth.
Now you know the truth. Say that again?
I always thought it was a piercing.
Cool. So we were too, thinking it was a piercing.
We were too thinking it's a person. Oh god, and there's another one here.
So by now, depending on how much time you spend in the Sarif offices, David Sarif contact you a couple of times to tell you to go to the manufacturing plant.
Adam!
Yeah, exactly. and that thing, it was in the game for a while, like with the dialogue, depending on how much time you were spending there or not, it was popping several times with different kind of variation in the conversation. Things are going to go much worse and everything. And I was reviewing the build in November 1992, in November 2010, and we were almost beta and everything. And I realized, oh my god, like, it's just smoke and mirror, and we don't carry it through. Like, there's no real consequences.
Exactly.
And it's a game about that. And I was, oh my god.
I think that's one of the best things in the game, really.
Yeah, we're missing the point.
Yeah.
And the next morning, I come back in the office, and I go to David and Fussy, our producer, and say, man, we did a huge mistake, and now we're going in our first instance with the journalists, and we're totally fucked. Basically, we need to have a real consequence to that thing, and said we need to re-record lines with.
And we basically need to kill the hostages
we
if
need
you don't
to kill
get
the
there in time.
hostages, exactly. We need to re-record lines, new lines for police officers, for David Sarif, for Adam Jensen, for all those beautiful people. And he approved it, and I was so happy because, like, and then it was the quest for.
Yeah, and what was crazy about it was, first of all, we were so close to, like, almost having to ship the game that we'd released a lot of our actors. We'd already done all the recording, and Sarif himself, so we had to go through and we had to kind of indicate which actors would have to be brought back, how many lines they'd have, and then we had to find Steve Shellen.
Yeah, we found him somewhere on it. Somewhere on a beach in Morocco doing something.
He was on vacation.
Someone.
He was on vacation.
Yeah, he was.
He'd been
was out
wrapped.
there. Yeah, well, he was done. And I mean, you know, anybody who knows Steve Shellen, very talented actor, but very much a free spirit.
How long it took you to get to him? To trace him back?
It wasn't that bad, actually, because I think he did leave information with his agent saying if anybody needs me. And so it was actually quite surprisingly quick, but then it was just the logistics of, like, okay, I got to find a studio in Morocco that this guy can go to, and, you know, I have no way of specking out what their facility's like, what's it going to sound like, but somehow, you know, through the magic of technology and that, we had our voice director here, we had Mary here, and we hooked up via Source Connect, which is a software that allows you to link up in real time and listen in the studio session. So we were able to do it that way. And I guess he showed up in Bermuda shorts with coconuts in hand, and he did it, and we got through it.
Yeah, and it was just a few days before the deadline, and Steve came to me, he's like, well, hopefully it's going to work, and the sound, the quality is going to be there, otherwise we might not be able to use it, and we were super stressed. But it was a fun ride.
Yeah, and it worked out because that's the first thing everyone comments when they started playing the game was, "Oh my God, the hostages are dead already.
Yeah.
I didn't know that would happen."
Yeah, it's one of the few games that really tell you something. And
it teaches you early on that there's going to be consequences,
and that really encapsulates what a Deus Ex game is all about. It's this thing that you don't even know that is really happening or whatever, depending on what you do. And some people would arrive there and see them dead, and they didn't pay attention to what David was saying, and they wouldn't know why. And that's what it's all about. Really.
And it almost didn't happen.
Another one here. Okay, first let me put in my praxis point. It's hacking. One with 8. Capture level 2.
Yeah, and Sarif HQ, when I saw it, I was pretty impressed with it. It was really quite the achievement visually, and just everything you had in there. There was so much exploring to do. All the pillars you could get the history from. You could get the history of augmentation and the work Sarif had done. So I knew for the exploring type players, they were going to spend a fair amount of time here. So it was a bit stressful in coming up with the track for this. I just remember telling Mike, I want something really cerebral and subtle, something that can easily just slip into your back consciousness while you're playing, and you would only notice it if we took it away. And
It's kind of melancholic, right?
it is. It's got a very melancholy, almost a bit of a sad feel to it.
Is that the same track that we ended up putting on a website on the Sarif Industries website, like viral website that we did?
I think so. It's
Yeah.
the same track that we use as the menu track because it just
Yeah.
we were going to
yeah, it's
compose
that
a
one, yeah.
menu track, but in
Yeah.
the end we just felt this track was really strong and it represented, I don't know, it sort of encompassed something of the game that was important, and it
Yeah.
felt okay to put it as the menu track because it's almost like Sarif HQ. You visit it 3-4 times in the game. And again, you know, when you're going to revisit an area and you're coming back with the same music, you're really hoping people aren't like, oh, not this again. So, you know, I was fully aware of that all the time and a bit stressed out about it. But again, credit to Mike and the work he did. He came back with a track that, for me, it fit perfect. And based on the comments that were positive that people came back with, we actually said, well, let's throw it in as the menu track because people seem to really like it and it seems to work.
Okay, now I'll hack. I forgot, I didn't look at these before.
Access granted.
Credits, I thought it was, yeah. Yay. Oh, apparently I missed this. I mean, I didn't miss it because I didn't need it. Oh god.
So here we're in front of one of Sarif's employees, and he's called Will Rossellini. And actually, he was our consultant on augmentation in the game. And what is really cool about this, how it came to be, is that one day we were working and we received an official letter by this guy presenting himself and everything in the field he was working in and everything. And he said that it could be really an asset to us to work with the augmentations.
Because
and
he
stuff.
was a huge fan of Deus Ex, and he
Exactly.
really wanted to make sure that the level of scientific knowledge was accurate and
Yeah.
into it to make that fiction feel even more real.
Exactly. So we contacted him, and therefore we started this collaboration. And now he was more into your
Yeah,
turf.
and he really helped me a lot because we would have just been doing research ourselves, but you're never really sure what's right. But having an expert in the field who can actually kind of help guide us and correct things and help with a lot of the technical jargon that we were working with was really good. And then I remember kind of thinking as we were coming up with Sarif's offices and the employees and needing names for people, I was like, we should see if Will wants his name on one of those doors. So I sent him an email and I said, hey, would it be okay if we gave you an office? And he was
And it
like,
makes
oh
total
my God,
sense.
that would be so cool.
Because
And
it's a
then we
biotech
actually-
company, you know, so like that's what he does. so.
Exactly. And then it actually worked out that he was involved in some of the mystery of the theft. And I said, we're actually probably going to accuse you at one
Of
point and make
something.
you a
Access
suspect at
granted.
one point. Is that okay? And he's like, oh my God, that would be so amazing. So it worked out really well for us, I think.
He's a very interesting guy. Didn't he used to play baseball or something?
Yeah, he was in the MLB at some point
MLB.
with Arizona, I think. Can't remember exactly.
What is that? I'm not really familiar with baseball. Is that like the league right before the big league or something?
No, the MLB is a big league.
MLB.
MLB, Major League.
Major
Oh.
League. Yeah.
Like
Oh,
he
God.
was in the real thing.
You know, like with a ball and a baseball. bat.
Yeah.
That's
Like Sarif has.
The
The
thing
next
that,
3
like, lasts
decades,
forever,
where
nothing
will we be in
happened.
2050?
no, that's soccer.
Oh, that's.
He probably likes soccer, so they're making fun of him. There was once a time where we believed the world would become a monolithic nation state, kind of like a United Nations of Earth, brought under a global aegis of a super government body. But now that prediction seemed quaint and hackneyed. The reality is we live in an era where sovereignty and the formal governance of the country are little more than a line of demarcation upon the world's map. More and more citizens of the world lend their loyalty not to a flag but to the other true transnational entities that still thrive, or corporations. We thus foresee a time when people will be citizens of their employees' nations rather than Chinese, French, Canadian, etc. And in this world, we also have thought of a traditional nation complex, such as America, will fragment in order to find their own equilibrium. Sarif Industries, rising to tomorrow. Here at Sarif Industries, we specialize in the design and manufacture of advanced neuro-augmentations and prosthetics for human implantation, and we strive to distinguish ourselves by working with clients to create progressive forward-thinking and custom augmentations that to answer specific challenges and needs. We are proud to maintain our creative independence in a rapidly shrinking and highly competitive marketplace. To ensure our uniqueness, we maintain an in-house staff of doctors and nurses in addition to the usual array of augmentation scientists and researchers, training them to work with clients and determine individual needs. Sarif Industries offers its clients free comprehensive pre-operational screenings as to better understand their personal challenges. We employ over 1,500 people in the Detroit area and in our factory and R&D facilities. More than any other corporation in the augmentation industry, we work hard to promote and maintain our reputation as innovators and as a home for independence, excellence, and quality. Also, there's all these emails. Hostage situation. What the fuck is the Picus have against us? Ever since Taggart gave that damn speech in front of the UN, Kassan's taken every opportunity to sayant this augmentation debate in his favor. We were the ones who were fucking attacked. We lost people. He didn't. That has got to earn us some sympathy. Get on the phone and work this way out. What do I want to pay to do? Gail... What's it called? Ragama. Watch out. Hey, boss. Mr. Sarif is stuck in his head. Just stuck in his head. It looks like he's on the warpath. You might want to get back in your ASAP. We still on for the movie Saturday night? Gail Bergama. Public relations and media. Weird. Oh.
Finally, someone who can get things done. Welcome back, Adam.
Yeah, I get that. Experience bonus all the time. More.
So as you walk around in Sarif HQ, you'll see on all the doors or near all the offices are the names of the employees. We kind of did this all at once very quickly. One of the level designers said, well, we need to name these people, and we had no idea. So I assigned it to one of the writers, Mark, and he had the great idea that since this is a scientific research and a thing in the Renaissance style, why don't we make up names? Why don't we take names of scientists and Renaissance thinkers from the past and painters and kind of mix them up? So a lot of the people in here, with the exception of Will Rossellini, are actually these references to ancient to Renaissance thinkers and painters and artists.
Yeah, and Sarif HQ.
I already listened to that one, that's why I stopped it. I have to turn it on so I don't miss any. I think I got all the ones on this floor. I'm so glad there's no more. There wasn't another one here. Oh no.
Access granted.
I need to read the emails as well. Ooh, Summer Boost Pro Energy Pack. Project Basilisk! Cal, I need you to take over the temp lab for a few days and take over the lead on Basilisk. Take the lead on Basilisk. The damn implant shouldn't be causing muscular degeneration this late in the game. Rossi can't explain it, and if O'Neill gets wind, he'll cancel the contract. Damn, I miss Savchenko. Leverdagus. Cal, your wife's an Alpha fan, right? My friend at Picus just sent me 2 tickets to 2 Metamorphoso, and I ain't gonna use them. You want? Why do you put friends in quotation marks? Recruitment efforts. Hello, all. Management realizes you've been working long hours in a drive to fulfill outstanding contracts. We recognize your increased efforts and thank you for your unswerving dedication to getting the job done with pride. We are attempting to fill recent vacancies as quickly as possible and finding talented researchers who live up to the high standards the company maintains is no easy task. If you know of any qualified candidates, please send them my way. In the meantime, thank you for your patience and continued dedication during this difficult time. Athene. Who's like Sarah's office assistant. Glad nobody has higher than 2. Too bad Pritchard doesn't like comment on you like hacking all his computers.
Access grant.
Royal's man, the Hugh Darrow story. Turning points. Darrow's father, Sir Martin Darrow, media mogul and founder of Picus Communications, enrolled him in the prestigious Skate Cliff School and later into the Stroud School. A natural athlete, Hugh is a captain of football, rugby union, and cricket teams, but beyond those sports, he found school to be boring and unchallenging and opted not to enroll in college after graduation. His personal interests, designing and building computer-controlled mechanical devices, a crude robot at age 10, a makeshift robots lab at 16, finally led him to the world's first Robot Wars competition in 1994. He failed to win, but while discussing design ideas with other robotic experts at the competition, he heard about human motion studies and being carried out at Stanford University, aimed at designing better prosthetic devices for amputees. Darrow extended his stay in the USA to meet several biomechatronic researchers. Composite Study 07121969. Final test results and initial variables test conditions. Biomatrix Composite 1 was created using the R7 biochip designs, which in turn uses a PDOT cluster array originally developed by Darrow Industries. Biomatrix Composite 2 was created using the X1 biochip design, which uses a PDOT cluster array developed by M. Reed et al. And incorporates a mutagenic chemical composition first revealed in her patient X study. Tissue samples taken from both composites were tested every 7 days for rejection markers which routinely associated the onset of DDS, Darrow Deficiency Syndrome. It's just one. Observations. Within 3 minutes of testing, Composite 1 exhibited low levels of cytotoxic M and DDSY enzymes commonly associated with the onset of the rejection syndrome. The quality of these enzymes increased as expected, with 20 cc of neuropathy being administered in week 5 to break down glial tissue buildup around the biochip cluster. Composite 2, on the other hand, showed no sign of either enzyme appearing until week 6. At this point, trace levels of CM were detected, but disappeared in subsequent weeks. This leads me to hypothesize that enzymes were actually a byproduct of the formation of newly extruded neurotissue compatible with the original matrix forming around a PDOT cluster. Additional tests must be conducted to confirm this. Luckily, David informs you that this new tissue, Patient X, has become available in recent months. Man, I feel bad for Patient X. He keeps getting tissue ripped off of him. Okay, that was one of those times I actually should have been reinforcing all my things as I went forward.
Access granted.
Yay, 50 credits. Late night coffee break. I'm just full of surprises. Ted Berger wrote, Andrew, you gotta tell me, what the hell was that the other night? First off, I had no clue you were interested. No idea you were still in the lab. When I went to put the extra no pause away and caught you reach into the freezer, well, needless to say, it was a very pleasant surprise. Thank God Rosalini didn't walk in on us. Over security. This is the same thing. Oh, actually, it's a little different. We in the IT department are working day and night to keep your company safe from an outside attack, but you are making the job harder every time you fail to follow the most basic of network security rules. You are no doubt aware terrorism on the rise in the city. This is why I remind you all to lock your computer screen the moment you step away from it. Change your password every 6 weeks in keeping with network protocols. Never write down your password or give it to anyone else unless he has the system administrator's authority. Surf the internet only when you're in the safety and comfort of your own home. It's funny he phrased it that way because he's saying surfing the internet is like something they shouldn't do at work to keep the company safe. I mean, the people who'd work here would have to be fairly smart, I guess. The Bell Tower Way, corporate background brief. The Bell Tower Group provides maximum security or maximum spectrum private security military solution for every need. The company was incorporated in 1997, beginning life as a security consultancy and close protection bodyguard, like as in bodyguard agency. Currently, with offices in Afghanistan, Bahrain, China, Iraq, Kenya, India, and the United States. Our headquarters in England is a hardened skyscraper with all the capabilities of a military base situated in the London Sink, an area of reclaimed land close to the River Thames. Other key facilities such as a maritime base on the UF Gulf Coast and a training facility in Bangalore, India. Built over servers are tailored for international clients, including governments, international agencies, and the corporate sector. It is also registered an active UN contractor. Provides specialized security and risk management solutions to counter extreme threats alongside exfiltration, KNR, threat neutrality operations, and quick react symphonic defenses. Okay. What else like to work? Greetings, Nifrit. Nuclear Snake's got an assignment for you. Come to my attention that someone has been stealing neuropozyne around here for quite a while. You know that stuff costs a fortune, so I suspect someone's owning on a black market. You need to get to the bottom of this and bring it to David before Jensen does. Feeling up to a little late night detective work, I've got an intellicam that's rigged to record it's inside the freezer. But it'll look strange if I got caught there placing it. You, on the other hand, are always full of surprises. You up for it? So his is Shine Ferret. And his is Nuclear Snake. Andrew, you've got to tell me, what the hell was that the other night? Okay. Overtime policy. It's come to my attention that many of you are logging overtime hours to meet deadlines, because as I remind you about Sarif's overtime policies, for anyone exceeding 8 hours of work in a single weekday or 40 hours in a regular work week, you are entitled by law to 1.5 times your regular rate of pay for all overtime hours worked, but we'd like to get you to consider an alternative option, a 1-for-1 exchange of overtime paid vacation hours. Once project deadlines have been reached, please inform that your unit supervisor which option you would prefer no later than Friday 11 a.m. If we do not hear from you by then, we'll assume the second option applies. Thank you for time and your dedication to keeping Sarif Industries alive. So basically, if they don't tell them about it, they're forced to have their overtime become vacation time, so they don't get the money until later. That's a little odd. I don't know. I can't get in there yet, but soon.
Right. Well, lucky for us, Jensen was there to recover it.
There we go. I don't know, that wasn't that funny. I'm laughing at a dumb joke. Yay, 100 credits. Recovery or delivery received. Hey man, I don't want work there anymore. Pritchard fired me for messing up the telecam footage. Remember, you still have to get to our office and snoop around yourself. If you want to be sure, all I can do is give you her office password, 5475, if she hasn't changed it. BT, Tim Corella. What do you mean she saw you? Christ, Brian. Her knowing is not an option. It could mean my job. You gotta find out if she's onto me. Package received. Thanks, C. It's from Brian Tyndall, Helix Guru. Next time, though, I think we'll need a new drop zone. Not to make you nervous or anything, but I'm pretty sure the chick who flies the company chopper saw me coming out of the helipad storage area after I grabbed it. No more. Don't say that, man. I promised the client no pause. And I gotta make good, which means you gotta make good. Or did you conveniently forget about all that little piece of added security I grabbed before the dickwad fired me? You don't deliver on the rest of the vows as we discussed, and Mr. Sarah's gonna be watching some pretty incriminating digital images tonight. MOB, if I don't know if Malik suspects me, but I just can't take the risk. I'm not stealing any more vows in her opposite for you. It's done. Good man, C. I'll find a way in. Don't worry. You are deleting these emails, aren't you? Fine, you win. Since we can't use a helipad storage anymore, I'll put the files in the basement and a vent shaft. But I don't know how you expect to collect them. So there's a whole neuropozyne theft thing going on here. The sleepwalking world. Wake up. Your government can follow you anywhere. Under the guise of helpful programs such as the Umbrella database and the World Smallpox Vaccine Initiative, those who seek to control our lives are eroding our liberties. They mask their true intentions. They intend to build a global database of all citizen DNA fingerprints. Your autonomy and self-determination will be curtailed for all time. DNA registrations is the death of freedom. Only those people who appear on the global register will be allowed to vote, to travel, to have children, to earn a living, and to speak out. Non-registered will be non-people. There will be silent, quiet slavery that we are allowing to happen. Our elected officials are making us rat animals and pens, shackling us to the very blood in our veins. Population that can be tracked cannot be free. I don't know how I feel about that, actually. Like, just being tracked. Like, the scary thing is the computers really more than the tracking. Because the computers will never sleep, and they can be just programmed to just make like arbitrary kind of like irreversible decisions. But like as long as there's a person on the other side, usually things can be okay. But I don't know. Mercury instant messaging autosave. This conversation was automatically saved in your conversation heading. Frantic Pony, we can't let that SWAT enter that plant. There's too much at stake. Future Phonics here. I've misread that word. It is definitely frenetic. I like combined frenetic and frantic to make frantic. Anyway, I'll leave in the misread because it's funny. Frantic Pony, I'm calling Jensen in. Wow, boy. He's still on medical leave, D. Frantic Pony says Mark Over gave him a clear bill of health last week. Wow, boy, how much pressure was she under, huh? Frantic Pony, I resent that accusation. Wow, boy, repent all you like, or resent all you like, but you hired me to protect your ass. Okay, wow, boy, you got away with the surgeries because of that neat little clause we had in his contract, but if something happens to him now, Frantic Pony won't trust me. It's your call, boss. Frantic Pony, we saved his life for God's sake. I don't think he'll be suing us any TM soon. That pony is pretty frantic. I bet this guy is a lawyer. I have to read that Global Politics review. Denzel Mitchell. That's why he's a law boy, and I think Frantic Pokey is like a thing of, what's his name? Say David Sarif, maybe? They're like, they have handles, but they're in Sarif Industries corporate thing. Okay, Denzel Mitchell, a little help. Hey, Denny, when you have a second, could you stop by? David's asked me to draft a formal letter to TYM, declining their offers for so generous offer. That's Tai Young Medical. I want to make sure I've got the wording correct. A. Okay. This is actually a different one than before. Okay, do not log in. Give your login passwords or access security codes to anyone outside the country. Do not download free internet software or upload new programs without clearing it through IT department first. And above all, lock your computer before leaving your offices. Okay, network security is out there. Our support and security and safety and well-being of this company. Our firewall have been rigorously designed to withstand even the most persistent of outside attacks, but can do nothing as employees do not adhere to the safety protocols laid out in easy-to-follow instructions in everyone's employee manual. So he's like, maybe he like watches people, so he's giving them their each specific warnings. Okay, Global Politics Review, 2026 edition. Facing the Dragon. China casts a long shadow. Since the 2000s, the Chinese bloc has seen a steady climb towards superpower status, supplanting the USA as the world's economic regime and most sophisticated military force. Marked growth in many market, I guess, in many areas of industry have made the People's Republic a major player. In many fields, notably the emergent technology of human augmentation. Without the regulations imposed on human trials by other nations, the PRC would have been fast-tracking their augmentation research. Many fear that China's actions may grant them a monopoly and thus strengthen their position further. However, despite technological advancements, China's attitudes toward human rights and the environment has not progressed, and the rumors of atrocities against both people and the planet are rife. The confirmation of these statements is difficult to obtain given the PRC's iron grip on their nation's media. Media is a different beast completely, fuck.
So on a whole different subject, if you look at the window there, it says vision on it. And what's interesting is that, you know, when you're in the lobby and you're looking up at Adam's office, and you know the people don't actually know it's Adam's office. They're just coming into Sarif's Industries to see, I don't know, whatever, to inquire about stuff or whatever you do when you go to Sarif's Industries. And it says vision, and it's just kind of part of the decoration, and it means, you know, that the company is looking to the future. It's got vision and all that kind of stuff. But what's interesting as well is that it's kind of like an all-seeing eye. It's Adam Jensen's office. He's a security officer, and this is where he's kind of perched and kind of looking at what goes into what's happening into the company. So that was kind of interesting.
Okay, that wasn't too long. And I never noticed it said vision, actually. Yeah, it's the same place.
So here in Adam's office, you can see his computer. You can find emails on it, and as you can find emails all over the company of Sarif. But in particular here, we start off a quest for Jensen to investigate these neuropazine thefts that are going on. And this was actually a mini quest that was kind of proposed by a level designer, the level designer who created this level. And he came to us and said he really wanted to have this really cool thing where you could kind of break into offices and find the codes to other people's offices. And it would be this whole mystery of kind of solving this, wrapping it up to the side quest of who's stealing the neuropazine. But his real intention was really just to give players a reason to get inside offices and steal things and find good codes for it. So he never really thought through the actual quest itself, and neither did really me or anyone else. And so when we actually sat down to start writing these emails, we just kind of had this thing as I'm going forward and I'm trying to build this whole mystery through this whole quest, and eventually as I'm getting to the end I'm realizing there's no payoff.
Yeah, there's nothing.
And there's nothing because we can't pay it off because that's part of the side quest that comes later.
Yeah.
And we were doing it so late in the production process that we just kind of had no chance.
It was a bummer because a lot of players came to us after that because they were really into that quest and everything, and
Which
they were
led
asking us
nowhere.
like, how does it end? Like, where's the conclusion? And we're like,
The conclusion is when you steal from your office, it leads nowhere.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's the moral.
There's the moral. I steal
Crime doesn't
pixels
pay.
and polygons all
Or
the
it
time.
does.
I don't know what to do with them. I have no idea. I stack them up.
Stealing's bad, okay?
Yeah.
Hearts of steel, iron and shadows. Across the plaza, Murda saw him stumble and fall against a low wall. She cast a quick glance back to where the demonstrators continued to build towards the outbreak of fury, and then, on an impulse she couldn't explain, she went to him, offering a hand. He looked up from under his hood, and the eyes that glittered there, hard and gray like fragments of sea items, made her gasp. He stood, ignoring her outstretched hand. But there was something in the depths, at odds with his scowl. Are you... Fine, he murmured, though his eyes narrowed. You're hurt. Just a scratch, she began, but her hand was already coming up to her cheek. His hand was already coming up to her cheek. Meredith started as the silver fingers touched skin. To her surprise, they were warm. Yeah, I'm one of them. A cog. He said, turning away. Aye, but he was already leaving. Okay, so it's like a romance novel featuring augmented people, I guess, when they're called cogs. Or robotic people or something. Okay, now I'm gonna go to Pritchard. I bet there's one up at the stupid little arch. Yep.
So with this one, the Final Fantasy poster, it was quite an adventure.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
one of the concept artists who had this idea, and he just he's like, you know, it was not too long after we were bought by Square Enix, so he had the idea to do this little poster, and it's Final Fantasy 27, obviously,
Right,
because the
right.
game takes place in 2027, and he just put it like this for the fun of it, and it became something really, really big because we wanted to keep it, But the way Square Enix works, they're very serious about the license and whatnot. So he actually went up all the way to Wada-san to be approved
And ask him.
to leave there, and he actually had to show it to some of the artists and some of the art directors of the franchise, so they could approve that it had something that had to do with the game. And what's funny as well is if you look at the poster, the head of the lady is hiding the numbers, and there's actually not enough space for the numbers if you actually try to imagine them there, which doesn't work. But whatever, it's still there. Yeah.
It's hiding the letters. And yeah, I was thinking maybe there wasn't enough space, but...
Well, if it isn't Mahatma Gandhi himself, come to honor us all with his life-preserving presence. If this is about the typhoon, I'll get to it in a minute.
Now, Pritchard. I didn't risk my neck to have you lose it in a pile of CPUs and scuzzy adapters.
Well, look at you, using the big words. Don't think just because you hacked through the plant security system so fast that you're an expert on everything computer. There's a reason I can't examine the typhoon yet.
Do tell.
For your information, I am running a diagnostic sweep on our network and router security to find out how Sanders' hacker got a hold of our codes.
I'd have thought the first question to ask is, whose codes were they? Unless you already know.
Stick to kicking down doors and shooting people, Jensen, and stop trying to do my job. I guarantee you we'll get along better that way.
The nature of neuroplasticity. I did read that already. Okay, I'm just gonna go down the stairs, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna go and check the pillars. Let me see. So this one's about Sarif Industries, and this one is about augmentation. It's history, kind of. So I'll start with this one, and I'll go around to Sarif and then do this one, because this one looks like it's just an ad. It just says, the key to unlocking your full potential. Okay. Darrow's groundbreaking work with robotics, biotechnology, and human enhancement has altered the very fabric of society.
It would not be an understatement to say that Hugh Darrow changed the world as we know it. One of history's greatest visionaries and entrepreneurs, Darrow's groundbreaking work with robotics, biotechnology, and human enhancement has altered the very fabric of society, allowing men and women to improve their minds and bodies at will. In the 1990s, Hugh Darrow would become a mentor to David Sarif, inspiring him to found Sarif Industries in 2007. It is Hugh Darrow's foresight and pioneering spirit that motivates us today.
Okay. So now I'll read about augmentations. Looking to the future, a better world through augmentation. That sounds like an ad too.
The future holds a lot of excitement for us at Sarif Industries. We believe that advances in technology, in unison with good government policy and lower costs, will make human augmentation available to more and more people across the globe. And more accessibility to augmentation technology means a world with more opportunity. New developments with Cosmetech dermal layering will help to make augmentation look and feel more natural, eliminating much of the stigma associated with human enhancement technology. And for the first time ever, Omnivision transverse retinal technology will allow recipients to achieve true stereo vision without a dedicated chip. At Sarif Industries, a better tomorrow is our passion. Liberty in Mind and Body International offers full and equal access to human enhancement products and technologies across every global border and society. LIM runs an international network of low-cost medical mechanical clinics catering exclusively to augmented people. Today, LIM has 150 self-managed affiliates, operating 1,900 branches across the globe, treating over 8 million people each year. They are recognized as a global champion for the world's augmented people. Because of their tireless efforts, tens of thousands of lives have been saved or made better. For this reason and more, Sarif Industries has been a major sponsor of LIM for over a decade.
Oh wow. Because of their tireless efforts, tens of thousands of lives have been saved or made better. The radio sound on these is kind of annoying. I had to re-record this because if you stand too far away, you can barely hear them. Where's the beginning? Sarif Industries specializes in the design and manufacture of advanced mechanical augmentations for human implantation.
Proudly headquartered here in the heart of Detroit, Sarif Industries specializes in the design and manufacture of advanced mechanical augmentations for human implantation. In other words, we help people achieve their dreams by allowing them to reach their full potential. Currently employing over 1,500 people, we are dedicated to innovation while upholding a reputation for unrivaled excellence. New products for 2027 include the Smart Cortical Booster, equipped with a multi-focus aptitude chip, specially tuned to give an edge in mathematics, arts, reading, science, and technology. We are also proud to present VistaLife, the world's most advanced corneal replacement technology. At Sarif Industries, we bring your dreams to life.
Wow. No one should ever have to give up a normal life because of a random incident. Or indeed, lose a dream over a physical limitation.
No one should ever have to give up a normal life because of a random incident, or indeed lose a dream over a physical limitation. So believes David Sarif, idealist, philanthropist, founder and CEO of Sarif Industries. Pursuing this belief, Mr. Sarif acquired a failing Detroit auto factory in 2007 and repurposed it for the automated manufacture of prosthetics, founding Sarif Industries. Today, we at Sarif Industries share David's passion. We believe that human augmentation will give people every opportunity to improve themselves, making the world a better place to live. Guided by this principle, we will continue to innovate and produce the finest line of human augmentation products the world has to offer.
I wonder what this says. Like, it's hard to read it. I think it's not meant to be read. I'll look at it for a bit, and I guess I'll zoom in and post. Maybe I can make something out. It would make sense, but also be kind of, like, funny if it just said what the voice said. See, this one's red until you click on it, I guess. And then, last one you clicked on turns green.
In the early days of human enhancement technology, scientists encountered a serious obstacle. New limbs were being rejected by recipients, resulting in complete systemic failure. Human immune systems would invariably recognize the implants as a foreign invader and attack. Darrow Industries was able to overcome this issue with the wonder drug neuropozyne, now distributed exclusively by the VersaLife Corporation. Today, Sarif Industries is working diligently to develop new technologies to reduce dependence on the drug, making augmentation safer and more affordable to the greatest possible number of people.
Oh, this one time it didn't actually say the key to unlocking your full potential. The little, I guess it's like a chyron, like a news chyron, the little scrolling text at the bottom here. Oh, wow. Megan looks kind of uncomfortable. I wish I could pull out my gun and zoom in. Like, not to shoot people, just to zoom in. Yeah. I can't believe...
So probably, depending here on how you played, you might have gone or not in the ladies' restroom, and eventually, if you go meet Pritchard, he will comment on that. So for the old fans of Deus Ex, for us, it was just a way to pay an homage to this kind of similar scene in the X1
and pay an homage to perverts.
Exactly.
And I think that's why we put the conversation that's going on in there. And I remember,
attract people
I
there.
remember watching some of the people here testing jumping to see if they could see the women inside the restroom.
That was, and you added a sound about like, if you jump a couple of times, like, is it someone here or something?
Possibly. To be honest, I don't really remember. I just remember that I loved the delivery of the actor Pritchard when he just adds casually, and you might want to stay out of the women's washrooms. And it was
and when
well
he did
written
it,
and well delivered.
Yeah, and actually, I remember when we recorded it, they recorded it, and they were like, "That was just a joke line, right? I mean, that's not going in the game, is it?" We're like, "No, that's real. It really will happen."
Good work securing the plant, Jensen.
Those augmentations must have come in handy. Alright, I think I'm finally ready. I know how to go into the menu and activate objectives then.
Talks all over the office, Mr. J. You really took care of
Oh, I have to talk to David Sarif. Talks all over the office, Mr. J. I guess you're all these security guards' boss.
Here we have a good example of show don't tell with this plate on the wall where we make this building feel much more important and bigger than what is actually playable.
And I remember the first version of it when I was playing it, the level artist had slapped up a sign, and it basically just had 3 floors to the whole building because that's really all you get to explore.
But when you're outside, it's humongous.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait, guys, we got to have more in there. We got to have like more offices and more things to show this. So we ended up submitting a list to him, and some of the things we wanted didn't get in there. Like we wanted a cafeteria named the Swallow's Nest, named after one of the writers who worked with us. And then the whole part about this is all under construction, it ended up helping us to explain why you only go to a few floors, and yet also tie into the story.
Hold my breath waiting for Detroit PD to get answers. Can you believe that? They spin the news like anyone else. Right. I'll see you.
Is this true? Law just told me work our butts off and then they start taking away our benefits. Not cool. I'm gonna start to get a sinking feeling about this place. So up for a happy hour downtown if we can get away at a decent hour. Diane Gonzalez. Hey Gail, you're thinking of cutting vacation days? What the hell? What if this kind of thing companies do when they're about to go belly up? I guess that's everything and I'm just running in circles now. Alright.
So what I love about this cutscene is the baseball. It was an element in the backstory of Sarif's character, and it became such an important part of so much of the game itself.
And the way that the ball falls at some point and it reveals Adam Jensen in the back, it really shows that Adam Jensen is Sarif's puppet.
And what's funny is when we did the audition session, there was a monologue sort of scene, actually a dialogue with Mary playing the role of Megan, and Steve Shellen just sold it so much, speaking about augmented pitchers using a baseball. So again, the baseball comes into play, and it really had a big part of him getting the role.
Okay, I'll read these. This is a comatose. We need to access some office computers if we're gonna find anything here. C-Boy sent me a hack for this one on the office floor. Login S-Grams password Ovid. La lucha continua! Nice going so far, Proxy. Hardly had to lift a finger to help, surprisingly. Tech, you could use some improvement, though. Now get in there and connect. I'll do the rest. Oh, and just 'cause I'm nice that way, I already hacked this one for you. Login D. Dutchman, password Windmill. Forward weapon restock. FYI, get the word out, bro. Grayson's got a new shipment, and you need anything before or after your heist tonight? Weapons, ammo, upgrades, check them out. Abandoned gas station on 2nd Street, downtown. Tell him Molson sent ya. Al. New shipment in. Back in town, egghead. Whole cart of merchandise. You wanna take a look? Stop by. Signed S. From Surratt to Greg Thorpe. Jensen, didn't know if you were coming back, so I deleted your entire network account. I only received the order to set up a new one a few minutes ago, so if you don't like the password I picked, live with it. Login, A. Jensen, password, Mandrake, Pritchard. P.S. The password should also work on your home computer. Okay, and here's this one. That's from Shine Ferret to Denzel Mitchell. You know, Danny, for a lawyer, you're a pretty cool dude. Thanks for checking the POs. Would have done it myself, but Sarif's bitch had my number for way too long. If she caught me with them, I'd have been toast. You know she's got Casey implants, don't you? Anyway, from what you told me, I'm sure Mika pines behind these thefts. She's in purchasing. Types out with the POs before Margolis signs them. It'd be so easy for her to change the figs after. She's OOTO till Thursday, so I just gotta get into her office for then, like B4. But he just put apostrophe 4. What the hell? Snake gave me the code to 27, next door to hers. 4145. I'm thinking of letting myself in there and using the air ducts to cross into her office. No worry. I won't sue if anything goes wrong. A. And, most of these I've read. Here, update. This is one I don't think I read. Oh, and this one underneath. Good morning, everyone. I know most of you are still reeling from what happened here several months ago. The devastating loss of so many good people, of so many of our friends and colleagues, is something which I, personally, find impossible to grasp. I know we will never be able to replace him, but I swear to you this. We will rebuild. We will pick up the shattered pieces of our lives, end their work, and continue to move forward. Together, we will be stronger than the bastards who did this to us, and we will not let them succeed. Right now, I'm in constant communication with the authorities who are investigating the attack. As soon as I hear anything conclusive, I will let you know. In the meantime, Frank and the rest of the security team will be working tirelessly to ensure that this company, that all of you, remain safe and secure. If you have any questions or if you simply feel the need to talk, do not hesitate to come to me. My door is always open. David. And then here's a short chain about the neurophosine thefts. I don't think I read. Don't get me wrong, I'm not accusing anyone, but as Sarif's security chief, it is my responsibility to stay on top of things. That's Pritchard, and then Will Rossellini. Yeah, that's the end, and I'll read it from the beginning. So it's Pritchard again. The initial email says, "It has come to my attention that neurophosine has been disappearing from the lab. Usually on nights when you are working late. Care to explain this?" And then Will says, "What exactly are you accusing me of, Frank? Yes, I have taken quantities of neurophosine out of the lab. It's part of my research, but I have also logged each and every drop used and placed all unused supplies back in the freezer before leaving. And I was not the only one working late those nights. Talk to Brugger. He'll verify it." Okay, now that I've got everything off of unread, it's going to be a big spike of access codes added, and I can go do Sarif for real. Because I kind of did half of it last time and then stopped. And then we can get into Detroit. I'm excited about
I'm
that.
telling you, Hugh, he might not have put the gun in Sanders' hand, but it was Taggart's speech to the UN that started all this.
William Taggart is nothing if not a shrewd political operator. You know that, David.
So for the sake of appearances, I have to look him in the eye and let him bullshit me?
With a smile. Always with a smile. We'll talk later.
Yeah, you wanted to see me?
Yeah, how you feeling?
I've had better days.
Well, when we're done here, check him at Dr. Markovic at the limb clinic downtown. Get her to get a checkup.
If you insist. Listen, about Sanders?
Yeah, about Sanders. What the hell were you thinking? Letting him slip away like that? I sent you in there to take care of things.
Okay. You asked me to deal with this situation, and that's what I did. I'm hoping it'll pay off later. Sanders won't rest until he learns who set him up. Sanders isn't the mastermind behind this, boss. Okay, I'm gonna... gamble.
I'm hoping it'll pay off for us later. Sanders was furious when he found out his hacker was augmented. He's not gonna rest till he finds out who set him up.
Oh, and you're naive enough to think he'll share the information when he gets it. I thought you were ready for this, Adam.
I am. Today's attack was just a shell game being run by somebody else. I intend to find out who and why, so that it never happens to anybody again.
Good, because so do I. That hacker in Sanders' group, you're sure he was augmented?
I pulled his cables out myself.
Yeah, well, the police are saying he's not, and they're refusing to let me see the body, no matter how much money I threaten to pull from their retirement fund.
Placate or scold. So maybe someone else is offering more. What do you want me to do, boss? Well, maybe they didn't like being held off so long at the plant. I'm gonna placate.
Maybe someone else is offering more. So what do you want me to do, boss?
We have to get a look at the corpse. You still got friends in the force. You think one of them will let you into the morgue?
Depends who I run into.
Get over to the station and find a way inside. Because if that hacker was augmented, his neural hub might tell us who he was. Contact me when you've gotten a hold of it.
Acknowledge you got it. Debate, boss. What you're asking me to do is not exactly legal. I'm gonna say this. I usually just say this, but like for the purpose of getting more dialogue for the recording.
Boss, what you're asking me to do, it's not exactly legal.
No, it isn't. You got a problem with that?
As a matter of fact, I do. Just figured I'd point it out. Oh. I don't even know. I don't even remember what happens if you challenge him, so I'm not going to do it.
As a matter of fact, I do.
Look at him. You know the police never fully investigated that first attack, don't you?
Yes, but...
But nothing. We lost a lot of good people, top people. And I'm beginning to think Detroit PD doesn't give a damn. Someone is pulling strings to keep us in the dark.
And in your world, the ends justify the means.
My world is your world, Adam. And if getting that neural hub illegally will show us who's behind these attacks, and maybe even help us go after them, yeah, you're damn right it does. So get going.
There we go. I got scolded for pointing out that it was illegal and saying I had a problem with it.
Adam, were you just speaking to David? I didn't know he'd finished his call. Is everything okay?
As well as can be expected.
Right, like I know what that means anymore. The phone's been ringing off the hook ever since Bill Taggart's little press conference this evening.
Taggart. Sarif was speaking about him when I walked in. What's the founder of the Humanity Front saying about us now?
Oh, he's all sincere this time, denouncing all the violence that's been committed against us, offering to come here in person to express his deepest sympathies.
Right. No wonder the boss seems grumpy.
Can you blame him? If it were up to Luddites like Taggart, you would have died on that operating table. The problem is, he knows how to play on people's fears.
Tampering with human biology can be pretty scary.
Tell that to all the war ants whose lives have been improved because of it. But if Taggart has his way, if he can sway popular opinion enough, then the United Nations will be forced to take a stand. Mark my words. That man is trouble.
I think the bathrooms are like... They're just there to make the world seem real. There's almost never anything in them. Well, okay, that's not true. Not almost never, but...
Please report to your office. Adam Jensen?
Right.
Oh. Let's get taken through the centuries to supersonic years.
Adam Jensen.
Hey, Jensen, glad to see ya. Damn it, now I sound like his girlfriend or something. Hey, Jensen. Man, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're back. How are you holding up?
I manage.
I'm sorry about Megan. I know it must be hard. For a while, we thought you were a goner, too. Everything's going to shit. The attack on HQ, and now this mess with the factory.
Yeah, tough times all around. How about you, Corella? You okay?
I don't know. I fucked up. I mean bad.
What happened?
Well, a couple of months ago, me and Tyndall, you know, one of Pritchard's techs, we started sneaking out some neuropozyne from one of the labs.
Jesus, Tim. You realize this could get you fired. Worse, arrested if the company chooses to prosecute. What were you thinking?
I know. It's complicated. I didn't want to do it at first, but there were good reasons. Anyway, now I want out, but Tyndall has security footage of me stealing the stuff and says he'll expose me if I ever stop helping him. I'm in a bad spot, Adam. I need that footage back. I know you're busy with everything that's going on right now, but I could really use your help.
Well, let's see what he's got to say for himself.
Pretty ballsy stealing a patented drug from a secure lab. How'd you manage to do it?
Both Tyndall and I worked the night shift every other week. I stashed the neuropozyne in a bag while he edited the security footage. Guess he kept part of it.
How about Tyndall? Can't you reason with him?
You could try, but Tyndall's a pretty driven guy. I mean, the guy's like a rock. You need a Casey-og or something to crack him.
Casey?
Social enhancer. It's an augmentation designed to read people's reactions and behavioral patterns. Higher end series even allows you to directly influence people with pheromones or something.
Neuropozyne. What could you guys want with an anti-rejection drug for augmentation patients? Reselling it? Providing a competitor?
Why do you automatically assume I was trying to turn a profit?
Oh, and the questions just end there?
What is it exactly you need me to do?
I need you to get back that security footage Tyndall has on me. It's probably in his apartment. On his computer, maybe.
So what? I just look him up in the phone book?
His apartment is near Brooklyn Court. It might be tough to get in because his building has a large security gate protecting it.
Well, that's just great.
Hacking the security gate is possible, but would require advanced hacking skills. You might have to look around for an alternate path. Maybe use the fire escape or something.
And why should I care?
And I should care about this because...
Damn, Adam. Are you really going to shake me down like this? That's cold. I'm hurting here. Look, I may be able to get my hands on a weapon mod for you. Jeez, never thought I'd have to buy your help.
No offense to this guy, but, like, I've never actually heard of any relationship between him and Adam except the one he implies here. I don't know, maybe he's in the comics or something, or I missed it in the game. I'm sorry, Tim, but I really... Yes, okay, alright, tell me more.
Alright, tell me more.
Really? Wow, thanks, Adam. I thought I was done for. The security footage will probably be on his apartment computer. Meet me in front of the subway station parking lot once you get a hold of it.
I got it from here.
Alright, now just to leave. And then we're on to the open world part.
This whole thing just brings back bad memories. I love working here, but it's hard knowing that at any second...
God, I can't talk about it. What if another bunch of radicals burst through the door like right now and start shooting?
I know. It's so awful. Because you'd be the first to... I mean, you'd be...
I'd be the first to what?
Nothing. Forget it.
Nyeshia. 4 million downloads, 11 weeks #1 in international charts, #6 on something. Nyeshia Akim, the fully augmented Nigerian pop star, winner of 6 Planet Music Awards. The fully augmented Nigerian pop star swept the Planet Music Awards tonight in Los Angeles, winning in 6 categories. Her latest album, Yoruba, about her struggles with discrimination, poverty, and, more recently, augmentation, is how it's not how it's written, but that's how I want to read it, has captured the hearts of fans worldwide. However, afterward, Akeem spoke about the difficulties of living with enhancements. As a woman of color, living with the augmentations is a challenge. You become a stranger in every culture. And neurophosine is so expensive. Thank God I am blessed enough to afford it. It is a struggle, but it has enabled me to continue doing what I love, performing. Critically injured during a terrorist attack in Lagos in 2025, Akeem appeared at the PMAs for the first time in 2 years. And then the little story, that's a big one. That's like, it's big, and here's a small one. Anti-augment Taggart coming to Mullins Convention Center. Perhaps surprising in a city that has historically supported augmentation, Humanity Front founder Bill Taggart's upcoming appearance at the Mullins Convention Center is nearly sold out. This development may reflect the growing wave of support for anti-enhancement groups across the nation. And of course, there's all these ads up here. It's got Wi-Fi, implying I think it like changes automatically. That's cool. Alright, I'm gonna talk to her.
Nice job tonight, Adam. I heard most of those vandals got arrested peacefully. Things could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
Mr. Jensen! Oh, everyone's talking about what a great job you did saving the hostages. You're a real hero, sir. Can I help you find something?
Has anyone been in my office recently?
Has anyone been in my office recently?
I think the cleaning people maybe, and that Mr. Corella was looking for you. But other than that, nobody's touched it. Up 2 floors and make a right.
I need to get to Sarif's office.
Then you want to go to the penthouse. Use the elevator at the left wing of the building to get there.
Using the camera to show this on every floor.
I need to see Pritchard. Do you know if he's still in the tech lab?
Sorry. I laugh every time somebody calls it that. It's so not a lab. But yes, I believe he's still there. Go up the stairs behind me and take a right. You'll find it near the end of the hall.
I mean, it is in big letters on the side of the room. I mean, it's not really a good lab, but it's a lab.
Thanks, I'll find my way.
Of course. Have a good evening, sir.
She didn't need to laugh. She actually didn't. She barely laughed. She laughed a little bit as she said sorry, and that's it. Should have had a little bit of a laugh before that to sell it more. Alright. I think that's basically everything. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Remember, you're in control of your own life. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you all in the future. Bye for now.